This is the revisited 6-part series for 31 Days of Horror with Andy Lewin and Stephen Radford. Episode 1, Days 1 through 5 with films Starry Eyes, Carnival of Souls, When a Stranger Calls, The Babadook, and Profondo Rosso.
Hi everybody, you are listening to 31 Days of Horror, a series of blogs and podcasts where every day for 31 days from October the 1st till October the 31st, you will be taken on a ride through 31 film experiences unlike the typical list of movies that you come to expect from the Halloween season. Hello and welcome. This is 31 Days of Horror. We're going to be looking at 31 films over 31 days.
Yes.
So, to my left is Andy Lewin.
Hello.
How are you feeling, Andy?
I'm feeling spooky.
Spooky?
Yeah.
That's a good thing to
Spooky.
feel.
Yeah,
about
like
Halloween.
Mulder.
Yeah. Oh, spooky Mulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm wearing a suit.
Well, we're not back doing frame by frame. This is a completely different podcast. We're going to be running through all 31 movies that are a part of a blog on Medium. And every day, a new blog will drop. A new movie, and these are alternative horror movies. These are movies that you don't expect to have in any classic list, isn't it?
No, not exactly mainstream. Well,
No.
some of them are, I would say. Some of them are mainstream, but they're more niche.
Yeah, and I think that they're probably mainstream like 10 years ago, but now this generation of kids, they've kind of like got all their Saw movies that are just, crazy things like that.
Yeah, I feel sorry for those people.
I know, because they don't know, they don't know what they're missing.
Well, they'll watch The Wicker Man now and go, huh,
Yeah,
where
bit slow.
where did it jump? Where was the jump scares?
Yeah,
you know,
they watch
it's
Straw Dogs and say, well, crying is foreplay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can't get an erection unless you're crying.
We're off to a good start.
Here we go.
Okay, so the first film, it's the 1st of October,
1st of October.
2018.
My birthday in 7 days.
Oh, nice one.
Get that in. First episode.
And the film we're going to be talking about is Starry Eyes.
Yes.
So, we've reviewed Starry Eyes before.
We have, and we really, really liked it.
It was it came out in 2014, and we couldn't wait to actually get into this one because it was one of those films where when we watched it, we thought, this has got to become a classic. This has got to become one of those films. Everybody's got to watch this.
And it seems to have turned into people who are really horror geeks. They know about it.
Yeah.
But it never really got the traction I think it deserved.
No, and that's why I wanted it in the list. I wanted it in the list because people need to watch this movie. And that's why it's first, because if you could start your Halloween season with this movie, then you're on for a good run.
Yeah. Everything else will be a complete letdown.
So all this vague hyperbole that we've just been throwing in, like we know what we're saying. It was directed by Kevin Kolsch, and also Dennis Widmer.
Yeah, who follows you on Twitter.
Yeah, he's a decent enough guy.
Great guy.
I think he's in touch with his fan base.
Yeah.
And stars Alex Esso as the ill-fated wannabe actress.
Who is amazing in this.
She is.
I liken it to the performance in Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me.
Oh, do you know what? We never actually alluded to that before.
Yeah, it was watching it again for this. Made me think it's just that level of intensity.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. And since, I think she's only really done B-movie horror. And she's kind of stuck in the horror market. But, I mean, to be able to give a performance like that.
Maybe she's comfortable in that. I mean, we all, design the path, or do you think she's typecast now?
But, I don't know.
She might be comfortable. Maybe she's comfortable.
Maybe let's say she's happy. Well, she's working.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
She can go to Comic-Con whenever she wants without worrying too much, you know?
This film is more...
That's an advantage.
Yeah. This film is more relevant, I think, now with all the Weinstein stuff.
Yeah. And when we were doing the podcast before, it really didn't mean that much.
No, you kind of got the idea of the ugly underbelly of Hollywood, but it really gets
this is kind of the wildest nightmare, and you kind of know that this stuff happens.
Yeah, it's very heavy-handed, isn't it? Because like they don't take any notice of her at all until she's physically hurting herself. And they're like, right, that's what we want for this part. Yeah, we want someone who can damaged.
Yeah, who can be controlled, who can be coerced, who can be turned and changed.
Yeah,
modeled, and it's akin to trafficking. Really, it's just another form of trafficking, but for Satan.
Yeah. Well, do you think all the occult symbolism was pegged on as a way to make it into a horror film, as opposed to it just being a film about a girl who wants to make it, does the wrong things to make it?
It's an interesting point, because it was not necessarily, didn't have to be satanic, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
And so in order to kind of take away the whole Weinstein kind of feel to it, to make it sound, then it probably was just added.
Yeah, because essentially she needs to sleep with the producer to get the part, which she won't do at first, and then does. Well, she doesn't sleep with him, does she? She
fights him off, I think.
Oh, she gives him a bit of the old...
Oh, yes.
Bit the old BJ, as they call him on the streets.
The old BJ on the street.
And then her mouth starts to go all septic, doesn't it? And she gets really ill, and...
That's when, it's a really good climax. Not is there enough a word for it? Good build up to the release.
Yeah, good release. The big finish.
So immature. But yeah, it's definitely it's one to watch. It's one to watch more than once. You can comfortably just sit there every year and watch this. I definitely want to say that this is one of those films that should be a Halloween classic, a sit-down classic every year.
Yeah, and you see different things in it every time.
Yeah, exactly.
You really do.
Very late, and it also, like you say, it's very relevant now to the. But when we watched it then, it was relevant in a different way.
Yeah, I think we took from it the Satanism stuff, the horror elements we took from it.
Yeah.
But now, obviously, last year the Me Too movement and all that, and watch it again now, and it does work on a different level now. Yeah.
So watch it for that reason as well. I mean, if you've got both, it's a moral tale.
It's a moral tale, but
not a how-to.
No, definitely
cautionary.
Don't do what she does.
Very cautionary.
And if you're a fan of gore, you've got a little bit of that in there. When she smashes that guy's face in.
That's, not to give too much away, there are moments where she just doesn't want to give up on this one person.
No, she
keeps coming back.
Yeah, she's enjoying a good old smash.
Yeah, and then there's a bit of stabbing to begin with, and then she comes back, and then she does a bit more, and then it's the big finish, and it's like, so... Yeah, kudos to that, because you don't really see that in Halloween, where Michael Myers just kind of butchers a teenager, then in a few minutes he thinks, oh, do you know what? I ought to just come in and just maybe decapitate her a little bit, cut off her limbs, and then come back a bit later and go, that head really shouldn't be on that neck. Well, let's just go back and just really pound it.
It's kind of like that scene in Hatchet. I don't know if you've seen Hatchet.
No.
But it's not very good. But it has this scene where he's got this like housewife tied up, and he just taps her on the side of the head with something, and then taps her again. She's like crying, and he taps her again. She's crying, and she starts tapping her a little bit harder and harder and harder, until the point where he's just mashing her face off. It's just this part where it slips into CGI, ruins it. Not that it's nice to watch anyway, I'm not saying that, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that.
It's probably that sounds like one of those things like the biting of the curb in American History X, and the gun face cave in Pan's Labyrinth. It's the kind of thing that really, as a horror fan, I prefer the psychological, what you don't see, rather than what you do see. But it's this I can actually just go, yeah, okay, I needed to see this. This was right.
Well, it's showing that she's gone now. She's completely gone. She's on this course. She's murdering people now. But none of her friends were particularly nice to her in the film, are they?
No, they were very distant. Even when she
vicious.
was vicious, but also very, even when she's in crisis, they're not that bothered. They're just kind of like, they don't want to touch it. Which is, we kind of alluded that was probably how it was for the competitive side. They're waiting for
they're waiting for a part. Oh, you've got your part. Well done. You're not going to get it.
And there's waiting. And they want them to self-destruct because there's more of there was alpha female thing going on with those girls, and the guys seem to be the most sympathetic though. They're the ones that chased after her, and we wondered if that was
because she's attractive.
Because she's attractive, or is it because
they actually have a nurturing?
Who knows? Yeah.
That's what it doesn't really say, does it?
No.
The one guy that she seems to like is with her friend anyway.
Yeah.
Who's living out in that van in the garden.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's so there we have it. I mean, it's definitely worth watching.
I'd highly recommend that film to anyone.
Can't say enough.
18 upwards.
Yeah.
18 upwards, not overwards.
So there we have it, and now that's it for day one.
Yeah, that was painless.
Was it worth 3/4 of an hour drive just to come here and do 10 minutes?
Yeah, you're telling me? Of course it was. It was fantastic. Yeah. I'll go off home now.
Okay.
And then see you tomorrow.
That's it. See you tomorrow.
Okay.
Same place.
Bye.
Different clothes. Bye. Hello, welcome to day two. Day two, Andy.
Yes, day two.
Day two.
Smashing it.
Yeah. Oh, I feel invincible, don't you?
Oh, always.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about Carnival of Souls. And
yes.
And
one of the older films on the list.
It's one of the oldest. It's a 1962 film directed by Herc Harvey, starring Candace Hilgos, Francis Feast, and Sidney Berger, as well as Art Ellison. Some names I can actually pronounce, which is good.
That's good. Always a good start.
Yeah, I do struggle on a lot of these. I'm going to really struggle on Dar. So after a traumatic accident, a woman becomes drawn to a mysterious abandoned carnival. And that's only a bit of the story, really, because she literally survives a near-death experience.
Yes, yeah.
The rest of the passengers die, and then she takes her career as an organist to a small town just to get over it, I guess.
As you do.
Yeah.
She starts seeing a psychiatrist, doesn't she?
She does, yeah, because she starts seeing things start.
Yeah.
It's almost as if nobody can see her. She's invisible to the world around her, and she can't. Because there are a few moments in this film where she's just walking around and she's being ignored. She's just completely invisible. It's like a Twilight Zone episode.
Right.
So yeah, she's drawn to this abandoned carnival, and there's and it's all. We feel as though it's all connected to her accident and her trauma, and we think it could be post-traumatic stress. But there's a lot more going than we realize. Now it's black and white, but it was also colorized. Did you watch the colorized version or the black and white? Watch it. What do you reckon to Carnival of Souls, Andy?
Okay, when I watched it, I was rather drunk.
Yes. Oh, that's the way to start. I love it. He's committed. I'm sure he's gonna give the same treatment to all of these movies.
I'm going. Yeah,
this should be it. Forget drunken history. Let's just do drunken horror film reviews.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Let's do it. That sounds. You're not drunk now, but
but
you were when you watched the film. So that's that's going to affect how you remember it.
Yeah, so it's a bit sketchy. I don't know why Alf was in it.
Alf.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I actually enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought it's disjointed.
Very disjointed, yeah.
Yeah.
Like we say, there are moments where the world around her is not responding to her, and there are moments where we're in a different movie where she's struggling with men. There's that kind of repulsion thing about her relationship with men. She starts seeing this strange zombie character who's just lurking in mirrors, on stairways, kind of like UKIP, really delivering leaflets.
Yeah.
But it's a decent horror. I mean, it's a nice black and white. I mean, when you think of black and white horror,
I think The Innocents.
You think The Innocents.
Yeah.
There's The House on Haunted Hill, the Haunting.
Yeah.
All those classic Vincent Price ones. So I wanted to find something that was a little less known.
But when you put it in comparison with them, where do you think it sits?
It's disturbing. I mean, it has more of a sense of repulsion, like I mentioned. It's again, it's a strong female lead. A lot of those have strong female leads, The Innocents in particular. It seems that black and white horror, if it wasn't Vincent Price and Christopher Lee, predominantly they were very strong female
and I
leads.
suppose they were more hammer horror.
Yeah, they were.
These are different.
This is more cerebral. This is a little bit more psychological. This is back in the day. This probably would have really gotten under your skin.
Yeah.
This, like the Babadook, it would have affected you.
So that's the '60s Babadook.
The '60s Babadook. Yeah.
That's what it should say. Carnival of Souls. The 1960s Babadook.
But
nothing like it.
But nothing like it at all. It's nothing to do with anything to do with that. This is more like I don't know. It definitely stands on itself on its own. It's there's no real sense of danger for her.
No,
there's no real sense of doom. Which, if you had that, it might be a little bit more interesting. I think I worried more about the fella who was after her, more than the white zombie creatures. But in the end, it all works out for them.
Yeah, bless them.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, with The Innocents, I can watch The Innocents and it still gets under my skin, and I still find that genuinely creepy. Mm-hmm. With this, it was like an enjoyable film, but I didn't really feel that unnerved by it or anything.
That's good. It's very...
Because I was drunk.
But it's all daylight as well. There's not a lot of darkness. It's not a very dark film. It's It's a very balanced. It's a very balanced image of light on the screen, and there's not really a lot of dark corners. Not creepy. I mean, I'd say a better film in the 50s would be Experiment in Terror, which was really dark, kind of like When a Stranger Calls, but a little bit darker. Yeah, a little bit more threatening.
With better actors.
There are mannequins in that as well. So
that's it.
I'm gonna have
mannequins in Stranger Calls, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think it was Lee Remick. Right. I think she was in it, and she wore this coat. I had
a student who died from that.
Oh, this is only day 2. That's all I think. Day 2. So yeah, it's okay, but it's not a classic. I'm not looking at a classic here.
No, I don't think so.
No,
The Innocents would have been a classic. It's a classic.
It is. Yeah, that's a strong film.
And there's no creepy kids singing songs about willow trees.
That's true. The soundtrack really was a bit of a miss on this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, interesting you land on it's very bright and very light and not dark. Would be nice to see a horror film that was very bright
and light,
but still scary.
Are there any? Have we missed any?
I don't know. I suppose Triangle, which we'll get to. It's quite light.
It's pretty daylight there.
Yeah, but
it's the whole the anti-7 movie we're looking for here.
Yeah.
Where we can actually see stuff.
And no rain.
And no Brad Pitt eating the hot dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no Kaiser sauce.
Right.
Name, Kevin Spacey, naughty boy.
Yeah, so there we go. Carnival of Souls. That's more like a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to look at it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
So there we go, Andy. That's day 2.
See you tomorrow.
Hello and welcome to the 3rd of October. Andy's back.
Hi.
Back in the house. This is 31 Days of Horror, where we review 31 films in 31 days. And we're up to day 3. So we're you're back again, and you're...
Yeah, I've not give up yet.
No, you're doing all right.
I'm doing all right. I feel a bit shaky, but I'm doing all right.
I think this is a great film to talk about for day 3. When a Stranger Calls. Mixed feelings, I feel, but I think I have, because I saw the sequel first. So, the first film really has a lot of motifs that kind of set up a lot of future horror films. Your thoughts, first of all?
Okay, well, the beginning. Scream.
Yeah. But would you have known that if you'd not seen Scream?
Well, obviously not.
If you saw this back in the day.
Well, back in the day, no, because Scream would have been made. But I'm just saying that's where they got the idea from.
So
so that's what I initially thought.
Yeah.
I like her. The actress at the beginning.
Oh yeah, do you know what?
She has a name. Her name is.
Yeah. We can
Because I remember. We're
her much
name.
faster now. Yeah. Carol Kane, of course.
Carol Kane.
She was
great.
in Annie Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was famous for being the one who was Alvy's lover.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I found it. I enjoyed the idea of it.
Yeah.
Acting is pretty terrible throughout.
It's funny because I never actually thought about the acting. I just kind of thought that they were just. I see. I wasn't too sure if it was a TV movie or not. I think the second one was.
Right. Okay.
And but I saw the second film. It still had Carol Kane in it. It still had Charles Durning in it, the detective. But it was done. I listened to Riff Tracks, which is a comedy commentary on that. These guys, they riff pretty much in the same way as who does comedy riffing on commentaries? Do we know anybody who does that?
Bruce Willis.
Cops. Was it Cop Out?
Cop Out, yeah. The Kevin Smith
film. But yeah, basically they're a trio. I was gonna say a trio who basically rip the shit out of all these B movies and horror movies, and that I watched that first and it was hilarious and I enjoyed it, and then I realized that this is When a Stranger Calls Again. There's actually a first one, so apparently we missed the first phone call. So When the Stranger Calls, and of course, the first time I saw it, I thought, Scream, definitely.
Yeah, of course, yeah. That's where they got it from.
So you kind of feel, I kind of feel robbed a little bit about Scream, just taking it completely, because not many people really referenced When a Stranger Calls when Scream came out.
No, and it's not in any of the academic scenes.
When they're talking about all the different films,
like Aliens
that influenced them. But
I believe the words "Get away from her, you bitch."
Yeah, but they never mentioned this in that minutia.
So maybe Wes Craven, God rest his soul, was like, well, not many people seen that, so let's not reference it.
Yeah, they can't. Maybe they did.
But then again, maybe it was in the script. Who knows? And it's just one of the scenes to cut out.
Yeah, could
knows?
Could have been.
But it's definitely that's where they got it from.
Yeah, that's it. But you're still not. You're not impressed with the. Did you enjoy the cinematography? The fact that all the shots of the woman that the killer was stalking, the second woman who was stalking.
Yeah. The one he finds in the bar.
Yeah, and when he's stalking her, she's always in silhouette.
Yeah,
and she's always her strength is being in silhouette when she's against light. Then as soon as she's in her apartment, she's unsafe.
So in the darkness, she's safe.
In the darkness, she was safe, and in the light, she was not safe.
Yeah, well, I noticed that, and I thought it was interesting. Yeah. But
I thought,
right. This is one of the rare times where I'd say a film might do well being remade.
Okay. Oh, this is interesting.
You know what I mean? But by
not by the one that we generally talk about who makes movies, and we always wonder Michael. I forgot his name. Would you believe it? It's been so long since we've done a podcast together. I forgot his name. But yeah, not a Michael Bay remake.
No, because that would be completely different. She wouldn't be in a silhouette then, would she? She'd be wearing a thong, walking down Sunset Boulevard.
Airplanes flying overhead.
Yeah, for no reason. Just a big robot inside comes out of nowhere.
No, the actual killer is a robot.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
he's stalking her. Yeah. But stalking her from underneath, from the curb.
From the sewers. Pennywise. You do a mashup.
But it's so
a Pennywise calls. Sorry.
Pennywise calls. Oh man. So
go on, you tell me what do you like about it? I think you're quite taken with it.
I think I was quite taken with the idea of the relationship between having it's that old school detective. It's not Brad Pitt. That's an old reference. Brad Pitt is an actor in the 90s who was quite successful and quite good looking. Not anymore.
Yeah, Robert Redford helped him get his first part.
Yeah, but when you look at a film, if this was remade now, they'd have to be really young and handsome. They'd have to be, or Liev Schreiber. It might not be.
Yeah.
like Liev Schreiber.
Yeah, and then at least you've got the link to Scream.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Oh, yeah, but it was that kind of like Columbo thing. I think I had a nostalgia feeling about it. And
Yeah,
Carol
because he's
Kane,
got quite the belly on him, hasn't he, the detective?
He has.
So when he's chasing after him, it's almost laughable.
It is laughable, and I think it had a good heart, and I think there was a good chemistry between the characters, maybe not the actors, but that you know these actors from previous films.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it was just enjoyment of seeing them in this movie that I'd never seen before. You know,
But it's got like the part where she's in the apartment and he comes out, and then she does that incredibly overacting scream where she's like pulling at her hair, and then the detective starts banging at the door. It's just so over the top.
Maybe I think maybe it is, and the build up was kind of like you kind of expected it to be a little bit more subtle.
Yeah, maybe.
And a little bit more realistic.
The guy who was the stalker.
Yeah.
I wasn't that keen on him.
He didn't really seem to be that freaky or scary or anything like that. He was
which I guess that could be the the stalker's gift to not be scary.
They were trying to be different. I think they were trying not to have this whole the stalker is unseen. And maybe it would have been better if you didn't actually see who it was.
I think it would have been better with a better director.
Possibly, yeah.
It could. I will definitely concede the fact that there's a great film in there.
Yeah.
There definitely could be a really good film in there.
Yeah.
And I can see why you put it on the list.
Yeah. But it's just a one-off horror, not something that you can actually consider as a classic to be watched every year.
No. Not for me, would you? That means no.
Yeah, you're right.
Ladies and gentlemen,
thinking about it, no. I think I'd probably pick up on it every 5 years, maybe every 10 years, maybe a decade. Yeah, it's one of those things that you think, I can't remember whether that was good or bad.
Yeah, and then you watch and go, it was bad.
But then you watch it when the remake comes out, basically, and that's probably the next time you'll pick it up. So you're probably right. It's probably a misfire in this case.
Yeah, well,
That's okay. Well, you see, this list of 31, to me, I compiled them back in January, and I was like, well, what am I going to have?
This is how long he's been plotting this, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not plotting anything.
When it gets to the end of the 31st day, he's going to murder me.
So, yeah.
It's Halloween now, bitch.
Yeah. And the last thing you'll hear is me. Going, round and round the garden like a teddy bear.
What we should really explain, I guess, is in the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
There's a woman who's babysitting.
Yeah.
And she gets stalked over the phone. He just keeps ringing up saying, "Have you checked the children?"
Yeah, I mean, there's a classic line, "Have you checked the children?" And
yeah.
That is kind of a freaky thing, because you said it to me the other day on Messenger.
Yeah.
I actually went and I thought, I better go and check the kids. It's effective.
Yeah. And then you should have checked the children.
I know.
And it's a really dark beginning. It didn't get under my skin.
That's what you need.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If there's a stalker, you want to get that uneasy feeling.
Yeah, you do.
Like Seven.
Yes.
You just want to go,
You're right.
God. But it didn't make me feel that. It made me, all right, that was a film. I can see what they were doing. Yeah, good.
That's it. I like that point. I like that. Yeah, it didn't get under the skin. So that's so it's not a classic, but so there we go.
Yeah,
that's When a Stranger Calls.
Definitely worth a watch.
Worth a watch.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, everything has to be a classic.
Nothing has to be a classic, and this is what I enjoy doing is trying to see which ones are going to be the classics, which ones we're going to just put onto Satan's fire pit for. Yeah. I know I've got one of those.
Satan's vegetables, Satan's lettuce.
Oh, Devil's Lettuce.
Devil's Lettuce.
The Devil's Lettuce. That's infernal imagery drop in there.
Yeah.
Devil's
Lettuce. See what
Lettuce.
I was a professional. But I can sense that tomorrow it might be a classic.
Tomorrow might be a classic.
Yeah, I'm just getting that feeling.
Okay.
The fourth, classic, I'm thinking.
Thanks a lot, Andy, for coming over for a third day.
No problem. All right.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Recording?
Duck.
Yeah, not as scary as the film. Do you want me to give you a little bit of reverb? You ready?
Oh yeah, go.
Duck. Isn't it Babadook? Babadook?
Yeah, it's a sequel.
There's a picture.
Daffy Duck.
Welcome to the 4th of October 2018.
It's the Babadook.
That's the Babadook.
It's not the Babadook. No one calls it the Babadook.
Babadook. Yeah.
Babadook.
Okay, we're going to call it the Babadook. Quack, quack. We're back for the fourth day of our 31 days of Halloween. No, 31 days of horror.
Yeah.
Talking about 31 horror movies over 31 days.
Day 4.
Day 4. Andy's back.
Hi.
And did you want to grab more pizza?
No, it's okay.
You sure?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm okay.
I'm happy to eat it cold.
Oh, yes, so am I.
You can take a slice back with you today.
Oh, thanks, mate. Thank you.
Sorry, let's talk about this duck film.
Yeah, Babadook.
The Mighty Ducks. The Babadook, yeah, Babadook. I'm going to call it the Babadook. I just feel, I don't know. Maybe I've been calling it the wrong thing all the time. Babadook.
The Babadook. The Babadook.
Babadook.
Come 10 minutes of this.
Oh, we're back. If any of you actually missed Frame by Frame, both of you, then this is what we do. We kind of generally get sidetracked very easily. So this is a big discipline, doing 31 films in 31 days in such a short space of time of 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But there, the Babadook is, as I mentioned in my my top line of the blurb from the blog, it's an Australian movie.
Yes.
Based on a short film.
Yeah, a great short film.
Also by Jennifer Kent.
Yeah.
We've already reviewed this. This was our first film we ever reviewed on Frame by Frame. And,
it's really good. It's a really good film.
Have you rewatched it since?
Yeah, I've done numerous times.
Numerous times?
This is one I do go back to quite often.
Great.
Yeah, because, again, it's a film that works on many levels.
It does, yeah, very much so. And I think it hasn't really changed, though. I mean, watching it now, it still feels the same. It still feels just as fresh. I don't know why, because in a way, a parent who's struggling with a child who's seeing this, who's friends with, I can't remember. Do you know what?
No, he's like a really challenging child, isn't he? So at the beginning of it, she is on the way to hospital to give birth to the child.
Yes,
and is in a car crash and her husband dies.
That's it.
So now she has to bring this child up by herself.
A lot of resentment, a lot of pain, and which can be quite difficult at times in this movie. There's a lot of difficulty because, when you've got children, the worst thing you want to do is to go out and watch a movie about a screaming child in a car. Yeah. But it works on so many levels, and you just feel so connected to that.
Yeah, a lot of critics of this film go on about how annoying the kid is in it.
I know, that's not fair.
And I think he's kind of... That's the idea.
Yeah.
He's got issues, the poor kid's brought with a dad, a mum who's away all the time. He's got issues.
And the whole feeling that you get when she's in that doctor's room, as I mentioned in that first episode, when she's really wanting to have a night's sleep, she's desperate for a night's sleep.
Yeah, and she has to
she's
for drugs.
begging for some sedatives, some sleep tablets. I'm a parent. I know how that feels, where you just wish that there was something you could do. So sleepless nights.
Yeah, well,
you feel it.
But also, like, the Babadook really is a metaphor for depression.
Yeah.
That's what the Babadook is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's why she, like, at the end, when she just shouts at it to go away, and it just clears, sometimes people with depression have to do that. You have to just yell at yourself until, right, okay,
that's it.
I'm back in the room.
Screaming in the pillow, that kind of thing. It's the only way, and it is a demon. It is something that you physically feel connected to, but disconnected at the same time. It's like it's there. There.
Yeah, it's kind of, it can be like a possession.
Yeah.
It can be like when you're just having a bad day, it just takes over you and there's nothing you can do about it.
That's it.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I think Babadook symbolises.
I think that's why people had problems with it. Maybe it was just too close to home, but the idea is to you got to deal with your demons, you got to face your demons, and that's what this is about.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's how I see it now, the second time of watching it. Yeah, it is about battling your own demons.
Yeah, well, I saw the whole thing as battling depression. Mm-hmm. And that's what I saw the Babadook as. Babadook. We're not doing spoilers, are we? But the very end, where it kind of creeps up on her again and she just shouts it, "No!" And it goes away. Mm-hmm. Just pure, when you get someone who suffers anxiety, depression, a thought will just creep into your head. You're like, no, I'm not thinking about that, and it just goes.
just goes.
It's so well
Pure.
done. It's so well, but it works brilliantly as a horror film as well.
Yeah, I mean,
it is scary.
So what this does for depression and anxiety, it did for for the afterlife with what dreams may come. That kind of feeling. How do you visualize that? So I think that's exactly what they've done here is visualizing that condition.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's also really creepy.
Yeah, it's creepy,
really...
and the book is magnificent, and everybody wants to have a copy of that book when they've seen the Babadook.
Yeah.
And it is available, I think, still.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it still is. It probably will be, but you could definitely buy it at one point.
It's the kind of book where you think if you had it, would it do something? Would it, would my psychology create something from that? You're kind of wondering if it is, possessed.
Why not?
Yourself.
Why not?
You can manifest anything yourself.
Of course you can. You can read that book that night. You lie in bed like you do every night, and then there's some creak that you always hear. You think,
oh man, yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Then you hear Babadook, and you're like, oh man.
No, not in daylight last Tuesday. Why should this be a film that you watch every year for the Halloween season?
Well, it's scary.
It is scary.
It is scary.
Genuinely scary.
Yeah, it's creepy. The feeling of desperation. It's got a feeling of complete hopelessness. Mm-hmm. She's struggling with money, which is kind of a motif in horror films. A woman who struggles with money and can't get out the environment she finds herself in and has to deal with it.
Well, the one question is that whenever there's a haunted house or anything like that, why don't they just move?
Yeah, but if they can't afford to.
But they have to create something to kind of hold them there.
Yeah.
And that's usually financial.
Yeah. Yeah. But, it's scary. It's great. The book's fantastic. Everyone in it's really great, And again, as we've talked on day one about Starry Eyes, about her peers, the people around her not helping her, she has the same thing. Her sister, arguably, is the nastiest person in this film.
Pretty much, yeah. She just doesn't want to.
She doesn't
understand. Just doesn't understand it.
She rings her up to try and get some help. I haven't got time for your shit today.
Exactly.
I've got this house. I've got this. I've got the nice, cool friends. You've got nothing.
And that's the comment that it's one of those things. It happens. Families are torn apart because of mental illness. People can't handle it. And when they can't handle it, they say, "Oh, I don't need that. I don't need that in my life. Let's just turn our back and let's pretend it's not there."
Well, even I have this vacuous life, and she's such a downer when she comes around. She's always talking about what much money she hasn't got, and I just can't be bothered with her anymore.
Yeah, it's despicable, way about it. But, so again, it's feeding from reality. There are people like that; they react that way, and it's not pleasant to watch.
No, it's not. And she has the threat of having a child taken away from her.
Yeah.
With those guys, those counsellors coming around and talking to a child.
Social services kind of situation going on, and that always makes it.
So it's just this feeling of desperation.
The world is at her, and her house is at her.
That,
yeah.
You've got this
many layers.
thing.
So many layers.
Yeah, yeah.
Family, friends, social services. Even the doctor is reluctant. I mean, he's about the only person who manages to help her, and the.
But even then, it's not really
reluctant.
The right way. Drugging a child.
Drugging a child, that's the way. Ritalin. Just give him Ritalin. Yeah.
I had something great to say and then it's gone.
Oh, no.
That would have been my 0.5%, that one would have been.
Oh, I missed those. That's what you used to have all the time. They were very, very good.
Yeah.
So...
when she was really mean to a kid as well. Yeah. When she's half asleep and, why don't you just shut the fuck up, to a child. She's it's a great film. Swearing at children. It's a superb film.
Super film.
Yeah, and it's really scary.
Definitely worthy of a classic.
Absolutely. That'll stand the test of time.
Yes.
Yeah,
Perfect.
absolutely.
Thank you very much for coming over again for this. It's you're making a tireless effort here to do this series with me, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
4 days.
4 days.
And
was this not 31?
No, we're not there yet. You can do it. Right. Thank you very much for listening, and see you tomorrow where we'll talk about another film.
Yes.
That's funny.
Hello, welcome to day 5. Day 5, October the 5.
October the 5.
Yeah. We're eating stroopwafels.
Yes. Delightful. Very, not really the spookiest of podcast consumable, is it?
No.
We're talking about horror films. What do you want to eat? Waffles.
Don't you just love the sound of people eating on a microphone?
Yeah, it's almost better than listening to people look things up on a computer on a podcast.
Yay!
That's my favourite.
Yeah, that's why we edit. So Profondo Rosso, it's an Dario Argento film.
Yep.
It stars people.
It does.
And it's
psychic people.
Very psychic people. So tell me, what were your thoughts on this one? Because you're a bit dubious about Dario Argento and his entire catalogue of...
Yeah, like people revere him, but sometimes when I watch his films, I'm kind of like,
meh.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean? There's other Italian directors like Felucci.
Yeah.
I think I prefer his stuff.
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
Yeah, I can understand that. Or Michelangelo Antonioni.
Yeah,
a little bit more avant-garde. But when it comes to this kind of genre, I mean, Dario Argento tends to kind of he's more of the John Carpenter of his of the Italian breed, I think.
Yeah, it's
where it's hit and miss. But I feel as though
Carpenter's not hit and miss; he's hits.
Oh, come on! There are a couple of there's a couple of films that I watched. There's the one.
He never made the one. That's a Jet Li film. Stop trying to tarnish the good Carpenter name.
It was something with darkness, and it had
Prince of Darkness.
Where are you?
Rated R. Starts Friday at theaters everywhere.
There are all these people in a building, and there's this big throbbing thing in the church or something. What was it called?
Hey, there's lots of big throbbing things in the Catholic Church.
Wait, that ka-ching!
God.
Well, okay, but that's not about this. But no, he's more maybe not hit and miss. Okay, John Carpenter's not hit and miss, but he's more the do-it-yourself guy.
Yeah,
I should call him the do-it-yourself guy. What do you think of Deep Red, Profondo Rosso?
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it. Yeah, it's
different
good.
from the other ones, from the schlock that he would usually.
Yeah, is this one he did in America?
Do you know what? I should know that, but I don't.
Because he started, obviously, he made a name for himself in Italy, so
yeah.
The Americans are like, come over here.
Maybe that's what it was. I mean, it is in Italian still, so
yeah.
So I'm not too sure where the cutoff is, but I felt as though cinematically, this was more stylistic.
Yeah,
there was a lot of angles, a lot of shots, a lot of interesting things going on with the camera that I was impressed with. That usually,
especially that it was filmed in 6 weeks.
Yeah, I mean that was one of the most impressive things.
Yeah,
I absolutely found that absolutely fascinating. That means this is probably the most kinetic one of his catalog.
Yeah, I've also found like with Italian horror when they like to have the schlock in it, don't they? But it never looks real. Like the red looks too red in blood.
Yeah.
And things like that, it's like hyper.
Yeah, because I think the censorship issues probably in Italy where red, because they're all Catholic.
Right.
Maybe there are censorship issues there, and that's why. I mean, who doesn't? Look at Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country. They wanted to have blood but then they realized it was going to be an 18 certificate. So then they turned all the Klingons into pink-blooded animals. Just for one film.
Let's just, viewers, listeners, it's took the 5th day for a Star Trek reference to come onto the podcast.
Well, I'm not.
I'm surprised it didn't happen in day one, to be honest.
Well, yeah, but yeah, the Profondo Rosso. I mean, it's a profound red. I mean, that's maybe he's aware of this.
Maybe.
But there's one thing in here that I thought was quite fun. The arm wrestling scene between which it's poking fun of the idea of gender and masculinity and how women can be tough and strong but they kind of like were just saying, well, let's just have a go. Let's just have an arm wrestling competition in the middle of this movie. Fantastic.
Yeah,
I don't care. I love it.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it's paced well. It's lit well.
Frantic.
Yeah, I like the frenetic style of this film.
Yeah,
and it's one that I want to watch again because there's so much going on in it. I feel as though it's very dense.
Yeah, I feel like I could watch it again. Absolutely.
I wish I actually had my list on me because then I'd be able to say things like what year it was made.
Well, I was about to ask you what year it was made.
Oh, well, it just so happens that I have a list. And Deep Red, 1975.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So
what are you gonna do?
What you gonna do? So day 5, we're doing it.
We are. I still feel fresh.
Yeah.
It's only day 5, so.
Only day 5. Yeah. Do you think we're gonna do it?
I think we'll absolutely do it. Yeah.
Goodness gracious. So, do you recommend Profondo, Rosso?
I do, absolutely. Yeah, I really do. And I think it's one that bears up for repeat viewing as well.
Good. But is it a classic? Is it something that you would have as a benchmark? It's not. Is it one? It's just one of the better Dario Argento.
It does. I don't know if I've just got a blind spot for Argento films.
That could be it. Could be it. Yeah. Maybe it's because everybody who raves about these movies tend to be a little bit too ravey, a little bit too clingy.
Yeah, and when something's been built up so much, and then you watch Suspiria, and you're kind of like, well, it's good, but it's not that good.
Yeah, I've seen better.
Yeah, but they're making a remake of Suspiria.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Which, there's the other one as well with Jennifer Connelly. Phenomena.
Oh, Phenomena,
which it was kind of just a bog standard slasher movie, really.
Again, though, we didn't really pick up pace. No. I don't know. There's something about it. I don't know.
Well, the only thing that I remember from that is Jennifer Connelly eating baby food.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it.
It is a striking image.
It's a weird fetish. Bye!
Bye! Don't eat baby food unless you're a baby. That's fine.
That concludes episode 1 of this 6-part limited revisit of 31 Days of Horror. For essays on all films featured in this program, go to StephenRadford.com. And now, some words from our sponsors at Liquid Storage Bags.
Now, Bob, consider this next question very carefully.
Liquid Storage Bags! You will never get caught short again, thanks to Liquid Storage Bags! Here you get 8, that's right, 8 bags in which you can store your very own liquid items.
Bags are sold separately, liquid not included.
The attractive cardboard box is easy to open.
With each wonderfully transparent, durable, and easily accessible.
Ready to go! That's right, when you've got to go, Liquid Storage Bags are there for you!
Liquid Storage Bags?
That's right! Liquid Storage Bags! They're sleek, sturdy, and stylish. And what's more, you can write all the information you need right there on the bag, where the space is provided.
Warning, do not write on liquid storage bags.
Liquid Storage Bags cannot be found in any store, by phone, or online. So you know that Liquid Storage Bags are the product for you. And only you. What's it called?
Liquid Storage Bags.
Ah, yeah! Liquid Storage Bags.